Welcome, friends. I hope you are all staying safe in the grimdark world, and you're mentally prepared to look at another one of Warhammer 40k's Chaos God, specifically, my favorite Chaos God, the Plague Lord Nurgle. Often referred to as Grandfather Nurgle, the Plague God, or Lord of Decay, among other titles. Nurgle represents the dark forces of disease, decay, and despair. This chaos deity thrives most on the emotions of despair felt by mortals. In our previous video on the Emperor of Mankind, we discussed how Nurgle was the third chaos god to come into full consciousness in the Warp. His rise coincided with the second millennium during Earth's Middle Ages, when devastating plagues signaled his ominous emergence. Nurgle, the chaos god, resonates deeply with the mortal experience, especially with humans who grapple with an inherent fear of death, possibly the oldest and most universal dread. While Nurgle symbolizes decay and death, it also embodies rebirth and the cyclical nature of life. This decay is an essential precursor for new life to flourish. Furthermore, Nurgle stands for resilience and the drive to survive against all odds. Among its devotees are not just those who champion decay, but also those who aspire to endure and withstand the universe's relentless challenges. Many afflicted by Nurgle's diseases often turn to this deity to find solace from the anguish and hopelessness brought on by illness. Nurgle wears many titles, including the Great Lord of Decay and the Master of Plague and Pestilence. Everything, no matter its seeming permanence, is bound by the inescapable chains of decay and eventual demise. The constructs of today inevitably become the ruins of tomorrow. Life's fleeting joys can swiftly turn to moments of regret. The bright promise of youth fades into the shadows of age. Every chaos god within the Immaterium manifests the most potent emotions and sentiments of mortals from real space. For Nurgle, it's the looming dread of disease and the inevitability of death that fuels his strength. Yet, it's the mortal's innate desperation to grasp onto life, despite the circumstances, that grants Nurgle a pathway into their very essence. In the vast expanse of the Imperium, its denizens are acutely aware of their mortality and the potential sufferings they might face in life, such as illnesses. Yet, they often suppress this awareness, distracting themselves with dreams and relentless pursuits. Nurgle stands as a stark representation of this buried understanding of life's fragility. He mirrors the suppressed anxieties about decay and the unavoidable truth of one's end. Among the four ruinous powers, it's believed that Nurgle plays the most intimate role in the daily existences of mortals. His presence is ubiquitous, marking lives from birth with fevers and ailments till the inevitable end. The omnipresence of this plague god earns him the title Lord of All, for decay and entropy spare none in the end. It can be posited that every human across the galaxy has, at some point, felt Nurgle's decaying touch. His insidious creations seep into trillions, eroding their bodies and seeding despair in their psyche. The frequent interstellar travel only aids in spreading these contagions, with infected individuals unknowingly transporting diseases across planets. Nurgle's demonic legions and human devotees often showcase a twisted delight in the afflictions their deity spreads. They view these maladies not as curses, but as blessings, hearing not pain in the victim's screams, but thankfulness. The term Grandfather Nurgle, or Papa Nurgle, has become a moniker for the god, reflecting a grotesque fatherly demeanor his followers perceive. Nurgle, much like his fellow chaos gods, cannot be confined to a single, comprehensible form. His grandeur transcends the grasp of mere mortals. While many refer to him using male pronouns, the chaos gods, entities of psychic energy, truly possess no gender. Descriptive attempts paint Nurgle as a gargantuan humanoid figure, riddled with decay. His necrotic skin, pockmarked with festering wounds, droops to reveal internal organs rotting and spilling out. Smaller demonic beings, Nurglings, play amidst his wounds, emerging from his sores and indulging in their putrid surroundings. His every step is trailed by an oppressive swarm of flies, emphasizing his association with decay and rot. Yet, within the heart of this embodiment of deterioration lies a contradiction. Amidst all the repulsion and decay, Nurgle exudes an unexpected joviality and fervor, showcasing the complex duality of his nature. Many who align themselves with Nurgle don't expect immediate power or grandeur. Unlike his counterparts, Nurgle doesn't allure with promises of immense strength, unmatched influence, or indulgent excesses. Instead, his disciples are those not seeking fleeting dreams or unchecked admiration, but looking for understanding in the inevitability of decay. Embracing Nurgle means recognizing that while decay is universal, it is also a testament to the transient nature of life. With this realization comes an urgency to make every fleeting moment count, to shape the future while being grounded in the present. As this newfound purpose engulfs his followers, they notice their pain diminishing, their afflictions lessening in agony, and a newfound hope taking root. Champions of Nurgle are a distinct breed. Their unwavering dedication sets them apart. While others might be repelled by foul environments, Nurgle's champions trudge through the foulest of cesspools, venture into quarantined areas, and chase their foes undeterred by any stench. This resolute spirit, instilled by Nurgle's teachings, drives them to go to any length in service to their deity. Nurgle is acutely aware that many of his human devotees turn to him in moments of sheer desperation. However, his demonic servants, especially the great unclean ones, bear genuine devotion and affection for him, serving him out of true love. The great unclean ones are essentially lesser reflections of Nurgle, massive yet not as immense as their master. These entities give birth to Nurglings, tiny creatures resembling their creators. Similarly, Nurgle's mortal champions transform into grotesque figures, characterized by decayed flesh, visible organs, festering sores, and a myriad of putrid features. Always accompanying them are swarms of flies and playful Nurglings, leaving a trail of muck wherever they tread. Nurgle shares a unique rivalry with Tzeentch, the Lord of Change. While other Chaos gods occasionally find common ground with Nurgle's ethos, Tzeentch consistently defies him. Tzeentch is a master manipulator, constantly altering and redirecting Nurgle's designs, causing rare moments of frustration for the typically jovial god of decay. To understand their stark contrast, one needs to look at their source of power. Tzeentch thrives on the hope and ambition of mortals to reshape their fate, while Nurgle draws strength from the despair and resignation mortals feel toward the unavoidable end. This ideological clash often manifests in the mortal realm, as Nurgle's followers attempt to stymie Tzeentch's grand plans with stubborn resistance and short-sighted selfishness. Nurgle's following is unique among the Chaos gods, with many coming into his fold not by choice, but through the insidious spread of his contagions. Even the mightiest can be reduced to outcasts, struck down by the harrowing disease known as Nurgle's rot. Yet, in a twisted sense of affection, Nurgle tends to those he's afflicted, seeing his diseases as gifts and playing the role of a doting grandfather, earning him the title we spoke of earlier, and something I find quite hilarious, Grandfather Nurgle. This perverse care entices some to willingly embrace his infections, hoping to gain his favor. His champions, despite bearing grotesque physical mutations, rank among the most potent servants of chaos. They morph into festering vessels of decay, their bodies grotesquely bloated, oozing with infectious substances, making them a sight of sheer horror. Yet, there's a perverse boon. They're rendered immune to any disease, and their decaying form gains a resilience, allowing them to endure harm that would obliterate even the healthiest of beings. Remember, life in the vast galaxy is undoubtedly brutal, filled with anguish and despair. Pledging allegiance to an indifferent god-emperor or a distant cosmic force often feels hollow, rendering existence meaningless. Countless individuals live and perish, but to what end? Simply for others to preach atop their resting places? Yet, for those who embrace the endless blessings of the Plague Father, the promise is eternal hope. And finally, if you can remember back to our previous video, while the blood god Khorne reveres the number 8, the father of plagues cherishes the number 7, symbolizing his domain. He's associated with colors that invoke decay and filth, primarily vile shades of green and brown. But Nurgle represents more than just disease and decay. He signifies the indomitable spirit of humanity and other sentient beings to persist against all odds. In the face of adversity, pain, and mortality, most choose to live in the present, clinging to hope for a brighter tomorrow. All hail, Papa Nurgle. Isn't that right, Artie? Oh yes, my apologies. I forgot that you were in love with Slaanesh.
Mwah!
My favorite aspect of Nurgle is that branding him simply as evil would be an oversimplification. At his core, Nurgle represents the natural cycle of life, decay, and rebirth. Where there is an end, there is also a new beginning. Moreover, he offers solace to those tormented by their own mortality. In a universe brimming with suffering and the inevitability of death, Nurgle provides his followers with resilience and the ability to endure hardships. He values perseverance and the strength to embrace and overcome life's obstacles. And as we mentioned earlier, the jovial care he bestows upon his followers, akin to that of a doting grandfather, speaks to his dual nature of not just being the deity of despair, but also one of hope and acceptance. While his methods might be deemed repulsive or terrifying, the essence of his teaching centers around the idea that even in decay, there is beauty and potential for new life. I also enjoy that this repulsive and terrifying image of Nurgle actually produces some of the best art that represents the decaying nature of both the Warhammer universe and our own. I can't wait to do a deeper dive video on Nurgle in the future. Hopefully we can continue learning together. Anyway, until we discuss the next Chaos God, goodbye for now.